It's time for us to get into the big story, and this one was done by Sarah Nabakoza, one of my good friends there. But let's get into the story that she wrote, and she was reporting because she reports from Parliament here. So they said that MPs are set to investigate alleged irregularities in the government payroll system involving 45,000 public employees following a recent validation exercise by the Ministry of Public Service. And they say that this follows the heated argument or engagement between MPs and the Public Accounts Committee and officials from the Public Service Ministry led by the Permanent Secretary, Catherine Bitarakwete, there. And they said during a session that was held on Wednesday, there were many questions that were asked, especially when they say that these officials were responding to queries raised by the Auditor General's report, a comprehensive one. That is, the Auditor General is called Edward Akol, when they were trying to match the payroll that we have now and whether the people who are there actually have to be there, especially doing the head count and how much they're being paid. So these are the queries that were being asked there. And this audit actually covered 45,572 public servants whose accumulative salary goes up to 131 billion shillings. Okay, let's continue. So, according to the Auditor General's findings, serious anomalies were discovered, including employees who had died. Can you imagine? They do a head count and find that the person who had died is actually still on the payroll. Others, they say, had absconded from work, or they had retired, but they continued to receive salary. So when someone dies, what is the procedure? And I'm just going to pause there for a minute and we ask these questions. When someone dies, who is responsible for informing the Ministry of Public Service? Who is responsible for deleting names or amending the payroll? And that person didn't do their job. That is what, it means here. This is what it implies, that someone just didn't do their job. And these names were left there. Who is this person? I think investigations need to be made here to be very clear. But guess what? They say others were recruited without official clearance. Others failed to submit validation documents or were completely unaccounted for during the exercise. People recruited without clearance. People didn't attend the head count. And others didn't have validation documents. And they are on a payroll. Who added these people on the payroll? What criteria did they use to employ these people without clearance from the Ministry of Public Service? We continue. And here's the interesting one. They say of the 5,532 employees initially deleted from the payroll following the Auditor General's recommendations, 1,752 were later reinstated, and this has led to the continued monthly government expenditure of about 1.85 billion shillings. Interesting. And they said despite earlier concerns of legitimacy, 1,752 were added back to the payroll, costing the government 1.85 billion shillings. Who is doing this? Okay, maybe they need to come out and give a further explanation of how these people got here. Otherwise, some of these things, need to be taken with an iron hand. I don't know what the IGG is doing about some of these things, but let's go ahead. They say that the report also flagged 28,253 employees who were only partially verified due to failure to submit all required documents. This group continues to earn an estimated shillings of 125 billion. 125 billion shillings. Yeah. 28,253 employees let that sink in, who were only partially verified due to failure to submit all required documents. They said this group continues to earn 125.4 billion shillings. Let me come. We continue. They say, additionally, 7,341 employees were discovered to have been recruited without proper clearance from the ministry with the validation revealing the financial impact of 1.3 billion. I'm just going to pause there, but I will leave questions. Who is responsible for this mess? Who is causing the government financial loss? If they have any explanation whatsoever about this, why don't they submit this information when the Auditor General is doing a head count, give validation, give the necessary documents at that time of counting? I mean, if this exercise happened between March and June last year, don't we have enough time to make sure that we correct, we go by the recommendations of the Attorney General? They are just recommendations, by the way, they are not dictations. But can't we follow those recommendations and say, look, we have a problem. We have more people who are being paid the salary that are not supposed to be paid. And there are those people whose verification exercise was not fully done. It was just partial. And they continue to be on the payroll. That's the big story. You can find it in New Vision, written by Sarah Nabakoza in the New Vision. Let's come back after this break.